It took so long, still I believe somehow the one that I needed would find me eventually. I had a vision, and it was all that you've given to me. Yeah. Right through the nights for so long.
One, people, thems. So I've just reacted to. I wasn't even gonna react to this actually, but I've just reacted to Morissette singing "Vision of Love," and like I liked it, but I didn't necessarily love it. And I just wanted to kind of remind myself as to how it's sung, because I think maybe what I'm comparing it to is the audio of it, like the song version that's on Music Box, and actually it is a very difficult song to sing anyway, but I want to kind of hear Mariah Carey sing it, because obviously I've heard Jennifer Hudson do a tribute, I've heard Tori Kelly do a tribute, I've heard Gabrielle do a cover of it, and now I've heard Morissette do it as well, and maybe, as I say, what I'm, because my thing was, the standard I'm setting is against Morissette, but I just want to, just for my own sanity, I just want to hear how Mariah Carey sang it as well. So the one that I'm familiar with, the performance, is her performing it at Madison Square Gardens. I had that video on tape and on repeat, back to back. I loved that concert so much. And she sounded beyond impeccable. Like, it was incredible how she sounded on that track. So I've gone back to 1990, where she's performing it at Showtime at the Apollo, which I've never seen. I've never seen this, so maybe Morissette's about to be vindicated. Let's have a look. I can feel the vintage.
Treated me kind, sweet destiny carried me through desperation to the one that was waiting for me. It took so long, still I believe somehow the one that I needed would find me eventually. I had a vision, and it was all that you've given to me. Yeah. Right through the nights for so long, suffered from alienation. Oh, I carried the weight on my own. So I believe, and I know I'll succeed in finding the things I can see. I had a vision of love. It was all that you've given to me. I had a vision of love. It was
Those
all
low
that
notes.
you've given me. I realized a dream. Oh yeah, and I visualized the love that came to be. Feels so alive. I'm so thankful that I received the answer that heaven has sent down to me. You treated me kind.
Do you know what? Yeah, like watching a young Mariah Carey sing that song, and it's her song, and she's nailing this song. Yeah, she's nailing this song. But at the same time, I can also appreciate like how difficult this song is, and I think potentially trying to hold someone to a standard of that is probably quite difficult. For me, like it is, Mariah slayed that. She absolutely like it's her tone, and I feel as though that like the lower notes and the lower parts of her voice, were executed that much like more precise. Like that's my opinion. But I will say, like, that the very, very, very last run that she was doing there was probably not as clean. If I'm being completely 100% honest, I'm being, like, analytical and critical about how the notes landed. It's probably not as clean. As like say Madison Square Gardens, which was obviously later, and I'm sure Apollo isn't that the show where they used to like drag people off if they weren't very good. So that's a very different environment than having your own concert at Madison Square Gardens. But in the absolute main of that though, like I do think she nailed that, and I think it highlighted to me pretty much as soon as she started that there was just something that was just missing for me with Morissette's version of it. Again, it still was good though. I mean, I still thought it was good, but I feel like I'm glad I'm glad I listened to that because sometimes you can have in your head that you've kind of got this impossible standard for someone to meet, and it's like, what are you actually comparing it to? What is it that you're what is it that you're kind of offsetting this against? Do you know what I mean? Like most of the time, as I said, when it's not a song that is so. Because a lot of people say this in the comments, like, oh, you shouldn't compare. There's no need to compare. And it isn't a comparison to be like, oh, well, that now means that you aren't good. Do you know what I mean? It's not that at all. It's just that for me, when I hear a song and it's a cover, my go-to is, does this cover stand up in its own version, its own right? Like, would it be something that I would go to? Like, so, for example, let me think of an example. Let me think of an example of a song that's been covered. Okay, so a perfect example of this, right? So I love this song. I love Vision of Love. And for me, my favourite cover that I've heard of this song, not saying that I didn't love Gabrielle's, not saying that I didn't enjoy Morissette's, not saying I didn't enjoy Tori Kelly's, but for me, Jennifer Hudson's version was so, like, I absolutely loved it. It was unexpected what she did with it, and it was so Jennifer and how she delivered it and what she did with the song that it was like, if I wanted to hear like a different version than the original, that's the one I would go to. Because when something's so in keeping with the original, like I said, it has to be so out of this world that like it almost makes you forget about the original, because otherwise you just listen to the original, wouldn't you? So that's why I think where I think I'm going with Morissette, like listening to her do that duet of emotions and that medley, like it was just I cannot tell you like how well. I can tell you because you've seen it, you've seen my reaction to it. Like it was just so supreme that I would listen to that all day. Like it was great. But I think with this one and Vision of Love, I think it didn't make me go, oh wow, like and then listening to Mariah Carey's like actually sing it, like don't get me wrong, Morissette still sings that song better than like most people probably could even want to if they wanted to try, but I just don't think it I just don't think it was as sold to me. I mean, I guess I'm justifying it because I know that people are probably going to say, what do you mean? And even actually when I was looking for Mariah Carey's version, I saw that quite a few people that have reacted to Morissette's version of the song and who absolutely loved it. So this is why art and music and whatever is so important, because everybody's got a perspective and I think everyone's opinion is valid. Do you know what I mean? Like there will be some people who love Mariah's version, some people that think that Morissette blew her out of the water, and I think it's good to kind of just be honest about what it is that you thought and what you saw. That's what I thought and that's what I saw. So that's my thought on it. But in terms of Mariah Carey's performance there, I just think it's awesome, like to see such a young Mariah Carey, like just so vocally on point as well, because it was so obviously early on in her career. Also, I'm sure his name is Trey, the guy, the backing singer, the furthest one that was on the right. So behind her on the right. She's literally been singing with him for years. Like, that is mad. Talk about putting your friends on. Like, that is sick. I love that. And I just loved how like confident she was, how beautiful she is. Like, yeah, man, Mariah Carey. You kind of forget that, like, you know, with all the newer songs and stuff, and how Mariah Carey is now. You kind of forget almost this curly head. I think I said in my video when she was singing Michael Bolton, that they both had perms. Obviously, I know that like Mariah Carey is part black, so you know at no point I think she actually. But you know, black people can get perms too. Do you know what I mean? So, but I do know her natural hair grows. You know, in that kind of way. But yeah, I think this era of Mariah Carey for me is it's kind of not untouched or untapped, because I have actually tapped into it, but it's one that I forget about as much, because as I say, for me, that kind of Madison Square Gardens era, where the curls were a little looser, is probably the one that sticks out in my mind the most. Like, but that whole era of music, that music box era. It was just a stunning. I mean, actually, what I'm talking about, because that Vision of Love was on Music Box, was it not? I'm sure Vision of Love was on Music Box, and that was an album that was literally like unskippable. Like, just let it play, let her sing, and let it play. Yeah, beautiful, man, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys thought of this. What did you make of your Mariah? What do you think of this particular performance? Have you heard anyone else that's taken on this song that you think actually they had a good crack at that as well? I'd love to know if they have, so do let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy this, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thank you very much. And I do have a Patreon as well, so if you do want to get access to my videos before they come to YouTube, interact with me more and a bunch of other cool people that are on Patreon, then yeah, head on over there. And it's a great way to help support the channel as well. So if you do feel like being generous, which I hope you do, then yeah, head over to Patreon. I would love to see you over there. But for now, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.